So what could be, or could have been, the impact of the epidemic in developing countries? So there are many studies estimated or projected the impact of the epidemic of HIV, especially around the turn of the century. So we can, analyze the impact. So according to 3 levels. One is micro level, at individual household level, and meso or middle level in the various social sectors. Then micro level to the impact on demographics or economy. So let's see one by one. So micro level. So if adult of prime age get infected with HIV and get sick or die, so family income, of course, declines, and very importantly, medical cost and funeral cost, escalates. So according to the estimate of World Bank, it will cost more than $100 per person. So you can imagine in this region, more than half of the people are living, around $1 per day. So $100 means almost one third of the annual income. So they have to spend, because of the culture, to especially for the funeral ceremony, and also medical cost is very expensive. So it puts the family in more poverty, then put them insecure for food. So some of the members have to go to sex work or migrate to urban area. So this is a vicious cycle operating here. So it affects, of course, the children. So they may be get undernourished, then have to give up to go to school because they have to work at home. So then it disturbs the intellectual, physical development of them. And then finally, they may die early or put into the permanent poverty. So this is what actually happened in the African, especially in the African region. So this is micro level. So this is what happened in a meso level. So many people get infected and get sick and or died of AIDS. So and there are many absenteeism. Absenteeism increases, the labor force supplies decline, but the demand for social services increases. So in private sector, formal or informal, the medical benefit or funeral cost increased, but productivity and profit decreased, and therefore the competitiveness of the company declines. In the agriculture, of course, productivity and crop yield decreased, then food security also declines. In the government, public sectors, so demand on the public service escalates, revenue, however, declines, and resource for services declines. In the health sector, demand for services increases and consume significant part of the medical resources. So many in the early age of epidemic, many hospitals occupied with AIDS patients. So leaving very limited number of beds for the patients of other diseases. So there will be very high risk of infection for medical workers. So cost of services increases, and budget have to be increased. In education, influence is very serious. So because the prime age adult die or get sick or die of AIDS, the quality of education declines. So the ability of the education to generate the human capital decreases. A number of students decrease. Many child have to work rather than to go to school. Then even at school, they have to care the students, and so on. So the HIV epidemic greatly impact the various sector of the society. So this is micro level. So amazing thing happened in the life expectancy in the especially sub-Saharan region declined very sharply. In a 10 year, almost 10 years, so life expectancy decreased around 60 years old to less than 40. So it took many decades the life expectancy reaches this level, but very quickly within 10 years it declined by more than 20 years. So economically, it is estimated projected affect the economy of the country by United Nations. They estimated in the worst affected countries, GDP grew more slowly than it would have without AIDS. So this is projection for South Africa. GDP could be 17% lower by 2010. And the economy could be 24 to 38% smaller by 2021 in Botswana. So in Jamaica, Trinidad, 4 to 6% of GDP will be lost annually. The 1 to 6% GDP will be lost by 2014 due to the effects of HIV/AIDS. So the AIDS epidemic actually, affect the economy on the scale of country. So the question is how the global community responded this situation or such a future projection. So we'll discuss it later. So before that, we'll see a bit more about epidemic of HIV in this century, in the 21st century.